Hey guys, when it comes to Native American ethnobotany, a very useful plant is going to be a native grape variety that's in Michigan. It's called Vitis riparia or Vitis riparis. And again, this is not the same exact variety, but I'm going to hit at some of the same awesome points from a medical context in my class. Now, look at it from a food context, it's a very useful plant. Grape leaves, when harvested at the right stage, are awesome. They are amazing if you ever stuff them with rice and herbs and either other veggies or meat if you're, an omnivore. But let's think about these from the medical context here for just a second. I'm going to pick a grape here from my yard. Just I can talk a little bit about the medical merits of why I'm discussing grape today in light of Native American ethnobotany, and also looking at it from a different prism that we usually do in my class. Usually at this point in the semester, we've kind of discussed plants that are medicinal, meaning you have an ailment and now we need to treat you and find a way to help you feel better and that sort of thing. But what we haven't really discussed a whole lot in my class yet is the idea that eating certain nutrients might actually confer preventative benefits. Okay, this idea of trying to eat certain foods to prevent certain diseases is not new, but we've given it a new term. It's called chemoprevention. Chemoprevention has been widely studied in many different universities around the world, and what we see is a connection behind diets high in rich in antioxidants and their ability then to help prevent certain diseases. And can anybody guess here what kind of diseases I'm talking about? What are the two leading killers of Americans? Number one, heart disease. Yes, in part we can prevent certain heart diseases, certainly not all, but certain heart diseases by proper diet. And of course that couples with exercise as well. Number two, what's the second leading cause of death in the United States? Yep, cancers. And so there's an awful lot of chemoprevention when it comes to dietary constituents that we've actually confirmed, and study after study after study are related and highly correlated to reduced risks of especially the cancers here. I'll oftentimes meet people and they're like, I'm doomed for cancer because, 5 people on this side of my family had cancer and 3 people on that side of my family had cancer. And I say, well, you're not doomed. Now, that being said, if you are carrying a certain gene mutation, that's going to make you unduly subject to having that cancer. And that's why a lot of people then are very proactive. Let's say if colon cancer runs in your family, they'll get that first colonoscopy at a very young age. Okay, we just lost Chadwick Boseman, a very famous actor, to that, for example. But let's take a look at what's inside of a grape and how this relates to this idea of chemoprevention in the first place. Okay, grapes in their skin, you're going to notice here the very darkish coloration in here, and they have a lot of antioxidants in them. Anthocyanin compounds, proanthocyanidins, beta-cyanins, and other compounds alike. One that's very famous in grape that's correlated with this chemoprevention we're talking about in my course is called resveratrol. Resveratrol is actually what we'll see in red wine. Okay, you can also get it from eating reddish or dark colored grapes as well as grape juice, for example. So you don't have to drink red wine if you don't like it, especially because we know that drinking too much alcohol actually causes health problems. So the idea is that resveratrol is highly correlated in prevention benefits, and that is both for heart disease and cancer. And the cool thing this semester, guys, is we are going to be exploring other nutritious foods that have very cool antioxidants and other anti-inflammatory properties in the body, ranging from sulforaphane that we find in our cruciferous vegetables, all the way to and including other amazing molecules in foods such as quercetin, which we find in all kinds of foods, ranging from broccoli and apples. And so what do we really just learn here in the context of phytonutrients, such as what I just discussed in grapes? And that is, when we're eating an abundance of fruits and vegetables, we tend to be a little bit healthier. And I think you all know that. That's the reason why we've been trying to have more and more Americans aware of the health merits of eating more and more fruits and vegetables daily.